The word inquisition comes from the word inquisitio, a Latin word referring to Roman court and law. It also comes from inquiro, which is Latin meaning to inquire into. In addition, the term inquisition has several different meanings. It could refer to an ecclesiastical tribunal, the institution of the Catholic Church combating heresy, or the trial of an individual accused of heresy. In short, the Inquisition was a group of institutions within the judicial system of the Roman Catholic Church whose main purpose was to combat heresy. It was instituted by Pope Innocent III and began in 12th century France when Pope Gregory IX established it as an attempt to battle new religious groups. By the mid-1250s, the Inquisition was in full force, spreading throughout Western Europe. The rapid growth of the Inquisition was a direct result of the Protestant Reformation and the heresies that branched from the new Christian religions. As a result, heretics were generally regarded as enemies of society, with most Christians recognizing them as a personal threat. During the Inquisition, inquisitors served the purpose of accusing and securing alleged heretics, with most inquisitors being friars. Often, these inquisitors would make rash decisions and accuse the innocent of heresy. Once they were accused of heresy, an inquisitional tribunal was required by law. These trials were often unfair, usually lacking a jury and depriving the defendant of certain rights. Tribunals and inquisitions were often organized by the archbishop or bishop of the diocese. Heading the trials were the Franciscan and Dominican monks. The Dominican monks later took over full responsibility over the tribunals. The tribunals usually began by the Dominican monks asking the accused to confess their sins or heresies. If the victims had not confessed, the inquisitors would take their role and accuse them even further. The 12th century saw the greatest increase in these accusations and tribunals. After everything was said, the Dominican monks would then make a decision and decide the punishment of the heretic.
Mike is sentenced to life in prison.
The sentencing was called an auto de fe, which means an act of faith. These public rulings drew large crowds and were very popular among the town people. Punishments imposed on heretics included confinement in dungeons, physical abuse, torture, burning at the stake, and other executions. If the accused heretics were lucky enough to reconcile themselves with the church, they still faced harsh punishments, which included a lack of property rights and embarment from public life. Victims of the Inquisition include, but are not limited to, witches, diviners, and blasphemers. Parallel to the European Inquisition were the witch trials, which spread rapidly through England and the Americas. Not until 1813 to 1815 did Spanish colonies fight for independence and put an end to the Inquisition in the Americas. The last execution of the Inquisition took place on July 6th of 1826 in Spain. There, a teacher was executed for teaching deism. A total of more than 3,000 people were killed during the Inquisition, not including those tortured and beaten.